everyone. This is Two for the Road. I'm Stacy,
And I'm Pete.
and today we're going to look at our adventure that took us to Virgin Gorda in the British Virgin Isles, and we were able to explore the baths.
Yeah, the Bass are a national park. It's a geological formation, it's huge boulders that have been pushed up um, to the surface of the earth due to volcanic activity over the years. Um, we pulled into Tortola, came there on a cruise ship, the Celebrity Apex. You have to take a ferry boat from the port over to Virgin Gorda. The original plan had us pulling off the beach and then snorkeling in. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that due to the weather, so we pulled into a smaller port and then hopped on a truck, which took us up to the top of the trailhead, and then we hiked our way down to the beach and started our way through the Bass from there.
This is the start of the trailhead. It was a fairly easy hike, about a half a mile down to the beach area. There was a tree canopy providing shade from the sun. The trail did have some rocks and tree roots popping up, so you need to pay attention.
Overall, fairly easy to navigate. Um, the path took us to the beach, which is Devil's Bay, absolutely beautiful. You come around this big boulder, and there you are, right at the sandy beach that leads into uh, a protected bay, both sides by the boulders. Um, this is where we would have pulled into had we snorkeled in off to the far distance there where the other boats are, but we couldn't because of the weather. Doesn't look that bad, but it was a red flag day. There were some people in the water, even though they asked us not to. Even though the water was off limits, there was plenty to do there at the beach. There's some paths that you can take you back behind a lot of these rocks, a little bit back towards the trailhead. Again, easy paths to navigate. Those ones are more out in the open with direct sunlight. Um, very neat area. Lots to see, lots to do. We spent about 35, 40 minutes here at the most. Um, I will say that the weather here now looks amazing, but the day didn't start that way. It started highly overcast. It was actually raining, and I think that actually helped because normally I bet that there would be a lot more people here. So especially on a day where there's multiple ships in port, I think that the crowd that come here to Devil's Bay and then the Bass is very strong. So I think we got really lucky this day.
You know who made it. So, after spending about 45 minutes swimming at the beach area and doing a little bit of exploration in Devil's Bay, we started the next part of the adventure there in the Bass, where we were going into what they kind of call their cave system. For me, this was a highlight of the experience based on you got to actually kind of wade through these different pool areas under the towering rocks. It was almost like you were in a natural water park. The water is warm, and the sun was finally shining, and there was just something kind of peaceful of walking through these cave and pools and getting to do some exploration.
Yeah, the trail is marked. There are some green spots that are spray painted on the rocks as you walk your way through. You can get off the trail. You'll end up at a dead end, and you'll just have to turn around and go back. Um, they call it the caves, but you can see the sunlight as you pass through. It is really neat. There are some sections that have stairs and ropes to help guide you along. You will have to crouch. You have to get real low. So if you have mobility issues, you might want to take all that into consideration. Not too strenuous overall. The ground was a little bit wet. That was a combination of the tides coming in and out, as well as the rain that did fall.
And as you can see here, the rocks are massive. They've been shaped over thousands of years by the ocean, the wind, and the weather. And so there's all these like little passageways for you to explore. It's almost like you've stepped into another world or you're on another planet. It was just absolutely beautiful and peaceful at the same time.
This area here was actually my favorite part of the cave system. You come around and there's some man-made help with some stairs that help you to get up on this boulder. There's a rope that they've tied into the cave system. It is very slippery here. There's some algae growth and there's some, the water that's coming in from the waves. So you got to be careful as you make your way down. But once you do, you get to this pool, and it's quite the view. On the far side, on the left-hand side, as we're coming around, you'll see that there's waves actually coming in, and there's a small beach that's right here, and a little bit of sunlight poking in from above. It's just a very special place.
You know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it. So we spent about 30 to 35 minutes in the caves of this. I think this was a great excursion, don't you, Pete?
Yeah, overall, very very good one.
So when we get to the end of the trail, and keep in mind it's self-guided, it wasn't as busy today, like we said earlier, about the weather, I think, kind of kept people from coming and exploring, but we had a beautiful day. But when we got to the end, we walked through this little keyhole area, and it opened up, and there was a bar.
Yep, Poor Man's Bar. That's actually what it was called, the Poor Man's Bar. We didn't believe it until we saw it. So that was a very fun end to the trip. Had a couple beers, just chilled out and talked to some people while we were there, and waited to get rounded up by the tour guides and then brought back to the ship. You do have to hike out. It's another trail that takes you up to the top, pretty much right where you started the adventure. Not a bad trail, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. It is a decent incline all the way up, and there are some rocks that you have to navigate, but manageable. From there, we jumped back on the truck, went back to the port, got back on the ferry, where they had some rum punch and music waiting for us. So, quick run back to the ship. Interesting note, we talked about how we do ship tours, right? There's lots of discussion about this, and there's lots of feelings about this. One of the big things we do is we take the ship sponsored tours because there's a clause in there that they won't leave you behind. So we were actually the last tour group to make it back to the pier that day, and we were so late in making it back that they had actually started to shut down the pier and they locked all the gates. So we kind of got stuck. It wasn't really a big thing. It was a little bit of an experience, kind of watching people try to decide how to get us through the gate, because all the people that manned the gate and the security, they'd already gone home. So we were literally the last people on the ship. But again, if you ask us why we take ship sponsored tours, that's probably the biggest reason right there. Is although some of these islands you wouldn't mind being left behind, we really didn't want to get left behind at all. So that's it. That's our story. This is our first video that we've ever done, and I think the quality of the video and the quality of the audio attest to that.
Mm-hmm. I hope this gives you some insight on what to expect if you ever have the opportunity to tour the baths. Be sure to hit the like button and maybe subscribe if you're interested in seeing what other adventures Two for the Road gets into.
Yep. And for now, enjoy it out there.